Welcome to the Wilderness Podcast, episode 71, your show for casuals done by casuals. I am your host, Dills, and with me, as always, is Deegan.
Hey guys, how's it going?
New way of starting, I like it. Changing things up, 71 episodes in, I can dig it.
Throw some spice in there.
Yeah. How's your week going? Or how did it go?
Good. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so real life stuff, I guess. So I did a bunch of shit to my computer.
Nice.
Reformatted it, reformatted my hard drives, new operating system. So now I'm finally on Windows 10 after all this time.
Solid.
Yeah, and then I've been helping my one friend with his computer. He's been having some issues, so today I sat down for like an hour or two helping him out with that, and probably have to do that again tomorrow. Yeah, just doing like a lot of little things, just kind of fiddling with my computer, because I talked about it last episode, I think, but I've started streaming now.
Oh shit, Deegan RS, up on the prowl.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just quality test. I will play a bunch of random games just to kind of see how my computer handles it, because I never realized how much strain it puts on your computer. So like I've overclocked my CPU now, and just changed some quality issues. I'm fiddling around with it, trying to get that. So yeah, I don't know. I've been streaming, fiddling around with stuff, and I guess that loops into like what I did in RS this week, which not too eventful, but kind of eventful. So I did 3 raids, I believe.
Nice. 1
solo, 2 duos. And then I did like a couple hours of Vorkath. I tried PKing some people earlier on in the week. Didn't get a kill, didn't get kills.
No? Okay.
No.
It's just the way
I
she
almost
goes
got a
out
kill,
there.
but his team logged in and I just pieced out. They just splashed like 4 telly blocks on me and I just like ran to 30 and tellied out.
Yeah, it's the way to do it.
Yeah. I think that's it though. I can't really think of what else. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
How'd your how'd the raids go?
Yeah, so
3 twisted bows?
Yeah, well, two
like
twisted bows, an omelet, and a Kodai wand.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I got nothing.
Right.
I mean, obviously I'm not going to get anything. So for my first duo, I did it with my buddy who I did my first, I think 5 raids with. My first 5 kill counts of duoed with this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always fun. We kind of relearn it because like I talked about it like way back in the day. We spent like months gearing up for raids. We did like 5 in a month, and then like that was it, right? We just stopped raiding.
Yeah.
I guess we just kind of got burnt out. Maybe, I don't know, but we're kind of like, man, we kind of have to start doing raids. And we spent all this time, like they're fun. We have no reason not to. So we went and did one today, or not today. I guess it was yesterday, the day before. Didn't get anything, obviously. I'm never gonna really get anything. It's always like herbs and stuff, like 140k worth of shit or something every time.
Mm-hmm.
There are silly deaths and stuff, and just because like we're Canadian and all that, our pings to 99% of the servers are shit.
Okay, I was trying to figure out the relation there.
Yeah. So I did find a way, through the help of someone who actually was nice enough to watch me do a solo raid, find a way to find my ping to each server.
Oh, wow, nice.
So there's like a thing you can put in Notepad, a little command, you turn it into a .bat file, which is just renaming the file to .bat. Like blank, OSRS ping .bat, and then you open it and it opens up your command prompt and it connects to all the servers. And from there, it's like, dude, Jagex, I don't know, like, that little flag next to their servers, like, don't mean shit.
No?
I don't think so, because, like, one of the lowest pings I get is World 1, which is British. It's a UK server, and
maybe we get a priority due to, the old Commonwealth priority.
Yeah, I don't think that's how a ping works. I don't think that's how internet works. But you'll be like some American servers are good. Like I think it was World 314 is good if you're East Coast. There's some that are like consistently pretty decent, but like there's like American servers that are West Coast. There's some American servers I get 200 ping on. Like it's so inconsistent. I like sat there and like retried over and over again. But yeah, anyway, so that's kind of neat. I can post that somewhere. I don't know where I'd put it though. I can put it in like Discord or some shit. I don't know.
Put it in the podcast channel where we place all of our, or most of the things we talk about on the show.
Yeah.
At least I try to remember. I'm pretty sure I forget every now and then, but
yeah,
it's only so much to remember. Do you remember when we used to have Canadian servers?
World 318, baby. Now it's a bounty hunter world.
Oh, this is when it was just World 18.
Yeah.
Oh, good days.
But yeah, now it's a friggin' bounty hunter world. God damn it.
Man, World 18, the 3 mage trees in Sears Village represent.
Yeah, dude.
That was my place where I would always kick it after school.
Yeah. Kick it with the squad. Hashtag squad fam, you know what I'm saying? I don't know hashtags too well, or common, the new lingo these kids are using.
The kids these days.
So after that, I streamed that, like, I asked him, like, yo, mind if I stream this duo? He's like, yeah, go for it. And then afterwards, I did a solo raid, my first solo raid that I've actually completed.
Good stuff.
I'll just tell you the rooms because I sat down before I started streaming. I spent like 30 minutes trying to scout, and I kept getting like the same 2 rooms over and over again, which are like Tecton with Vespula, and like, no, you want to skip those. You know what I mean? Those are awful. Anyways, so I eventually just said, you know what, fuck it. Next one I'm going to jump into as long as like Tecton or Vespula aren't guaranteed. And it was like the skeleton mages, and then it was Vanguards, then Vasa and Nistro or whatever. And then it was shamans. Then it was like a possible, I could get shamans and I also could get Vespula.
Okay.
End up getting all of them. So I'm at Vespula. It's the last one. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes. Like, I've never beat Vespula. And I actually beat it this time. I ran out of 100%. I'm out of energy, out of stams, out of brews. I mean, maybe I had like 1 brew left, and I end up finishing off Vespula. It's such a bitch. That fight is such a bitch because you have to like attack the portal and then grab this fucking shit. You gotta grab this like weed stuff and feed the grubs, but like it's just a big pain in the ass.
Is it just because you kind of have to be at 2 places at once?
Yeah. Yeah. So the doing a duo, I have one buddy, like my buddy will focus on hitting the portal as often as he can safely, because like you hit the portal and I think it's like the next 8 or 10 ticks, Vespula does some shit protecting her grub. She does this weird thing. And if you do it on the right tick and you hit the portal again, she doesn't hurt her grub. She keeps doing her little weird animation thing. I don't remember what it is though, clearly, because when we do it, I'm focused on attacking Vespula and the portal when I can, but then feeding the grubs is my main job. Yep. And so if you're new to Vespula and you're solo, you have to do like all of that. I mean, I ignore her and attack the portal because that's all you have to kill the portal to beat the room. So I have to time attacking the portal with picking up the weeds and feeding them. It's such a pain, but I actually ended up doing it, and I'm like, because you're only like limited, like you get pretty much 4 or 3 tries, unless you have a Serpentine Helm on Vespula, because you'll get poisoned when you go in, and you can't make antidotes in the raid for some reason. I don't know. I've tweeted and posted on their suggestion things for quality of life like a million times to add stamina as an anti-poison to raids. It's stupid that they don't have it, but you know, I guess that's not considered a quality of life. PvM update, whatever. I'm not pissed.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yep.
Yeah, especially that we saw, you know, last week we were talking about the PvM quality of life?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, when they're bringing in the bronze axe to the ice, I don't remember what his name is, but it's the ice boss where I think you need to cut down trees and burn
Ice
it
Demon?
or some shit. The ice demon?
Yeah,
am I getting that right?
He's not a main boss, but he is like a room, but yeah.
Yeah, they're putting in a bronze axe there so that you're not forced to bring an axe every single time to take up an inventory spot just in case you get to that.
Yep. And there's already a tinderbox there from a previous update. But they do things like they changed the Lizardman Shamans, they added Staff of Lights, and they're like, they changed the party interface to the Chamber of Xerix. Like, they do a lot of, but like, They don't like.
Are you sure it's not an oversight on your end?
No. You will run out of stamina. There are pools you can drink from, but there's no stamina potions. There's no anti-poison, unless you bring a serpentine.
Yeah, that seems pretty bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was missing something. I remember making posts when I was first learning to do raids, like, what the fuck, guys? Why? How do I do this? How do I make these anti-poison? And they're like, no, you can't. That's why no one does Vespula. And if you're learning raids, it's such a pain in the ass because every room is hard because you're new to it. And then there's raids like Tecton, you're limited. Like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyways, I'll move on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So anyways, I end up doing my first solo raid. Okay, so I duo raids at around a little bit over an hour, between an hour and a half per kill count. Okay. Which is pretty high, but you know, I'm sub. I have like 6 duo kills. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're still learning the.
And like we forget fights when we get to them again. That's how new we are to it.
Yeah,
well,
definitely.
I am. My friend's more experienced than me because he's soloed a couple on his own. Yeah. So guess how long it took me to do the solo raid?
I mean, I have a pretty good guess, but why don't you just tell me?
Yeah, it was 2 hours and 57 minutes.
Ooh, the 3-hour mark. Yeah, because
I
had your stream going on when you were doing it. I wasn't watching fully the whole time because I was doing some other things, but it was there, so I would glance at it and catch some of it. But yeah, I would look back and be like, "Oh, is he doing a second raid? He's doing a second solo raid right there."
Nope, all one raid, baby.
So I got a question. I haven't done the raids yet. If you die solo, does the boss reset?
No, but
interesting.
I kind of wish that would happen, except for Olm, obviously, because Olm is really hard. So, like, that doesn't make any sense why it would. But if you die in Vespula, all the grubs hatch, portal fully heals, and now you have to kill 4 minions with Vespula attacking you the whole time. You know what I mean? And while she's attacking the next set of grubs. So if you die once in Vespula, your next run is pretty much recovering what happened. Like, it's some bosses, like, when you die, it's like, oh, we're fucked. Some bosses, it's like, okay, we just go back in. Like, Lizardman Shamans, you just go back in. Mutadiles, you just, they'll heal off the meat trees, but it's not a big deal. Olm, on his last phase, when he's dropping the healing portals, he can fully heal. So you have to be really, really quick when you die.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I did that. I actually learned so much doing that, because there's like a lot of things I just kind of ignored, and we would just kind of get through the fights and whatever. But like, I learned a lot about the mechanics and stuff, and it was super fun. I had a lot of fun doing it, and some people were watching. This one dude who was watching the whole time, he was like kind of, you know, he was cheering me on for 3 hours. I don't know how, like, I can respect someone that can manage to stomach watching me do this. And I'm finding this guy has like almost 1,000 kill count in raids. So he was able to like he was giving me a lot of tips. Super nice guy. And he was like, yo, let's do a duo. Let me show you how it's done. And we fucking, keep in mind, I like fucked up and we had to spend another 10 minutes in the raid. Maybe like 5 minutes. Maybe I'm over exaggerating. But with the duo, it was 40 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah. The dude had like a twisted bow and shit, so he was like carrying me hard. But he like taught me like how to do certain rooms in duos that me and my friend were doing wrong, and he taught me how to do Olm in duos, and that helped a lot. And really, really nice guy.
I'm waiting for the YouTube video to come out being like, how not to do raids, and it's just your clips.
I'm gonna find myself on Cute Noobs and just fucking Deegan quit the podcast in RuneScape. Hey guys, Dills and McDingus over here. I'm just gonna completely name change, get myself, revamp myself. But yeah, like those are the 3 raids. Like every time got like nothing, but it's I don't know. Raids are super fun.
Raids, you're looking for they ain't no Zulrah. You're looking for the big drops, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you're doing it well and you're ripping through them and you're getting them, like, let's just say you're doing it in 50 minutes, and when you're doing it that quickly, you're clearing all the rooms, getting to the boss, you're gearing up, what you do in duos, you get all the way to the boss, like if you're good, without having to stop and farm, and then you farm up your boot shoes and stuff, and you have overload pluses that you get from the boss kills previous.
Mm-hmm.
But then you'll go in and suicide an inventory of brews and restores, and you'll drop them in certain areas just to kind of help you. So you suicide when you first run into Olm because you lose a percentage of your points every time you die.
Yep.
And Olm, you get a lot of points from Olm because he's got a lot of HP. So you want to die because like you pretty much can't do it in one inventory. Like it's so hard. Like I've always died once doing Olm, at least once. So you might as well run in, not even attack him, drop the shit, like a full inventory of brews, die, and then you go in and you have 2 inventories to play with, and then you do the boss and you kind of min-max your points.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I actually learned quite a bit. It was really fun. The drops you get, like 100 to 200k if you do okay with the points. But, you know, you can get a Twisted Bow, you can get Elder Mauls, you know.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, it's the big drops you're really gunning for.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, I did some Vorkath. Nothing really. Pretty close to like BGS and stuff. I don't have a BGS anymore. I'm like 1 mil off from a BGS, so an hour of Vorkath, or, you know, we'll talk about it more in depth, but, you know, like 15 minutes of Rev Caves. So.
Oh, shit, little teaser.
Anyways, that's enough about me. What about you?
Let's see, myself, not a whole lot. I think I mentioned ago my PS4 kind of got pooched. I got all my saved data deleted. I'm pretty sure this is the second time that I've mentioned this. The first time the second time I put in a new hard drive that had more space, and I thought I backed it up already on another hard drive, but I fucked up and ended up wiping it and lost a bunch of time there. I think I was playing Final Fantasy 15. I lost like 20 hours worth of time on that game.
Yep.
So then I put the new one in. Anyways, yeah, so it got pooched because my power breaker kept tripping just because, like I said, we moved into this house. It's still got a lot. It's still getting fixed up to believe it or not, but it's getting there. But we have problems where like we're doing laundry, and 50% of the time it's gonna trip the breaker at some point through the cycle, which is fucking annoying. Because if you don't catch it right away, it's not good to have your clothes just sitting in water. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's not good. Anyways, that happened with my PS4 two times in a row, and it corrupted everything. So I lost like 40 hours of Final Fantasy 15, 20 hours or so of Fallout, and I lost like 4 hours of No Man's Sky, and it was a game I just started playing. So I've been playing some of that, trying to get back to where I was. It's a really cool game. I don't know what it was like when it first came out, but I know they've updated it like crazy since. And so I can't compare it to how it was when it was originally released, but it's good. I'm really enjoying it right now. Sometimes I get that itch just to jump and play a space simulator game. I love how you can just see a planet, fly to it, and you can fly right into the like atmosphere and land on the planet with no loading screens in between.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, earlier this week, you know, there was that space launch that was live streamed. So I've been really getting that itch. I've been coming home and just jamming it like crazy every night, pretty often. So that was fucking cool. If you haven't seen it, go check out that SpaceX that launch. I posted it in Discord and it was fucking sick.
Kind of. Well, it's on topic, but not. Well, anyways. So I have this one friend who he met a bunch of like buddies. He's got like another group of friends at school that he just met, and so like he like when he comes in like Discord and like talks with us, he's always talking about them, or he's like they're in the background, and they were talking about SpaceX launch. And I don't know why, but I was just really in that fucking goofy mood with my other friend we just like to fuck around. And so we started trying to convince him and his group of friends that the SpaceX launch was fake.
It was fake,
and
yeah.
So we were saying that the globalists were faking SpaceX launch because like obviously the Earth is flat. Like we're acting like it's common knowledge. The Earth is flat, and like clearly like, you know,
they teach it in our Canadian schools.
Yeah. And it got to the point where I'm trying to convince him that Tesla isn't even a real car and that Elon Musk is like a puppet. And that's why Jeff Dunham is always with him, like a ventriloquist. He's like a little ventriloquist dummy. Like, it was really stupid, but his friends were like, they thought we were serious, and they got so upset, and they're getting so annoyed with us, like, telling them the SpaceX launch was fake. And my main argument was, do you know anyone that drives a Tesla? Like, do you know them personally? Have you been in a Tesla? Because I always hear about Teslas, but I don't know anyone personally. So therefore, Teslas are clearly fake. They're created by the globalists. That's why they launched it into space. I mean, like, it was clearly fake. Did you see the YouTube stream? Like, it clearly looked like a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've seen movies.
I've seen Interstellar. I know how that shit works.
Yeah. Have you seen Cloverfield Paradox? Like, that's all. They're in space. Like, and it's all looks the exact same. Like, clearly it's fake. And I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up. It's just it was just really fun to fuck with them like that.
Sometimes I'll use the same argument about North Korea. I'll be like, have you ever met anyone who's ever been to North Korea? Do you know any North Koreans? That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's not even a real country. It's fake. It doesn't actually exist.
So yeah, No Man's Sky. Been playing that when I get that space itch because it's fun.
Yeah. Hey, look, there's a flat planet.
Yeah. It's a disc. What is this?
Wow, it's really moving up really fast.
Watch out, don't fall off the edge of it.
Yeah.
Super realistic.
Yeah.
Besides that, well, I guess you did it. You talked me into buying RimWorld, and I went and bought that game.
Yep.
And by the way, it's a fucking early access game. God damn it.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's an early access game.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it says right on there, but the reason they say it's early access is because they still have a lot of content they want to add to it, and they're not going to charge for it.
Sorry, okay, so on the 15th of January, so last month, they said the next update will be 1.1, so it's going to be out of early access, like, within 6 months.
Yeah, that's what they always say, and then you never hear from the devs again. That's it.
Sick game. Anything that the game's lacking, there's a really well done mod to fill it in. Yeah.
So, I'm not going to go too much into it, but if you would have asked me yesterday how the game was, I would have been like, the game fucking is stupid and a waste of money, and I regret buying it because it's super complicated, and I'd spend like hours playing it just to have my people die of starvation, or one person goes crazy and just kills the other one. And that sounds cool, but it's really not that exciting when you're just like, it's just frustrating because you're like, oh, this is the 7th time this has happened.
Wait until you decide I'm going to make one giant ass building and have everything in there. Roof collapses, kills someone. Dude sees the person die from a roof collapse, goes crazy. Turns out he's an arsonist, burns everything down.
Your roofs can collapse?
Yeah. If you don't build your structures properly, roofs can collapse. But like, keep in mind, I was like, I'm going to make a 30 by 30 building, keep everything in it.
Yeah.
Just outer walls. There was no inner one. Like, the roofs sort of collapsed and killed people, and then some dude lit the whole building on fire because they made out of wood. And everyone died.
They're being like, this was supposed to be a paradise.
This is supposed to be fun. This game's supposed to be fun. This isn't fun. I'm pissed. I'm going to bed. I know it's 6 p.m. I'm going to bed.
But yeah, today I've been having a lot more success with my newest little, I guess, save, or my newest world, my newest settlement. I've been having more success with that one, so I am enjoying it more. But next week I'll probably come back and be like, no, that game's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
a pack of wild boars just came and killed everyone.
A mad squirrel gave someone rabies.
Yep. So, yeah, that's been happening, and then right into the exciting stuff, RuneScape. What have I done on RuneScape? I've been playing it a fair bit. I've been playing it pretty frequently. Like,
pretty much when I log on, you're on.
Yep, that's how it feels. But unfortunately, the mobile beta has ended.
Mm-hmm.
It ended last Thursday, like right in the morning, which sucked. I had all my Snapdragons ready to be farmed, and nada, nothing there. But I'm trying to do my farming runs consistently because I was aiming for 83 so that I could do spirit trees, and I wanted to put one in my house with my fairy rings. I hit 83. Then I realized you need like 94 or something in order to get both fairy rings and spirit trees, so that kind of fucking sucks. I got one planted in Brimhaven because I do a lot of Slayer. Maybe that'll bring me to Durandal a little bit faster. Who knows? We'll have to see. I hit 97 attack.
Nice.
So we're getting pretty damn close.
What's your Slayer level?
I almost don't want to say it's 94. It's funny, I checked it today.
Is it higher than mine?
I was like, oh, he hasn't trained Slayer since I leveled up, and then he leveled his past mine. So we'll have to see how that goes, because my experience is higher than yours right now.
We're gonna have to cut this podcast short.
You're just not paying attention the whole entire time.
140k experience ahead of me. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So, yeah. I'm also on the list of goals. I'm aiming to get 73 hunter, because I like to be able to do black chins when I want to do hunting.
Yep. The option is very nice.
Yeah, and also it'd be great to be able to anti-PK. So on my list of purchases that I want to get is an Armadyl Godsword. Because, yeah, there's a bunch of YouTube videos out there of people doing black chins and can turn around and lay the smack down on some PKers and get a kill, right?
Yeah.
Because chances are, if they're PKing people getting chins, there's a good chance they're not going to be the most skilled PKers. They don't got to worry about no tri-birders and shit, but, I'm sure at the same time you do.
The big issue is that you'll see bad PKers trying to kill you, and then you see really good tri-birds like Monty or Abyss in like 500 mil risk tri-birding you with a team, and you're like, I'm fucking doing black chins, dude.
Yeah, imp in a box, throw away my chins, and let's get out of here.
Yeah. Gotta get that Din's Bulwark, that's what I'm spraying.
Man, that's a fucking sick item. I really like that.
Yeah.
But, basically I purchased a Dragon Fire Shield because I had a Wyvern task. And I've realized the way I do most of my, like, big ticket purchases is I'll have, like, a 10 mil cash stack, and whenever I get a Slayer task that I'm like, oh, I would benefit from having a Torture Amulet, boom, I'd buy it. Or, for instance, I had, about 10 mil, and I got the Wyverns task, and I was like, do I have best in slot everything for this task? No, I need to get Dragon Fire Shield, let's buy that. Boom, even though it's going to sit in my bank for a while, and I'm not going to use it as much as I might use, the Anguish, the Necklace of Anguish, which is the Ranger. So, yeah, I don't know. How do you purchase your items? Do you have a list of things you want to buy and you just go out and buy them, or do you?
So in the past, depending on what I was doing and what I was focusing on for like goals, I would sell off my big ticket items and buy them. So I used to.
Oh, right. You're a seller and you're always switching up the items you have.
Well, not anymore. I don't need to do that anymore. Humble brag.
Oh, easy now. Mr. Staker over here.
Yeah, let me just vomit from staking my Dragon Warhammer, make half my bank real quick. So what I would do, it would be like I'd have Primordials and a Torture and all that good stuff for melee, and like Bandos, Tacits, and a Fighter Torso. I rocked that for ever, from like 75 defense minus the necklace actually and the boots. Got those later on, but like, yeah, I rocked that for a long time, and then started doing raids, and I'm like, you benefit more, with the Pegasian. So I went and sold the boots, bought the Pegasians. Like I would buy and sell items, but what I do is with my Slayer tasks, I would postpone them. So I'd put my Primordials up for a little bit more than I originally bought them for, and then I would sell them, and then I would do the same with Pegasians, but do it under for what people are selling and buying them for. And I would do that, so I'd make like 100k per flip, so it's not too bad. And then sometimes when I'm like, fuck it, and I lose 300k, I don't feel bad about it.
Right.
But then the Dragon Fire Shield, I just call the DFS special, because I would buy it and sell it just for Dragon tasks. I would lose money. I lose 300k on like that task from buying and selling it on the shield. But I don't care. You know what I mean? Because that item specifically, you don't use it enough, and the price is so volatile. Look at the yearly graph. Let me pull this up.
I know right now it's crashing fairly, that's the thing. I looked over it's gone down about 500 to 600k just from this week alone, and I was like, okay, it's either going to crash a lot more, or it's going to start going up again. It's kind of hard to say, but
yeah. So let me just say this. So at one point in the recent 365 days past year, at one point it went from, this is being very general, but 11.6 mil, almost 11.7 mil, consistently went down to 7.6 mil, and then would go up to 9.4, and then down to 7.1, and then up to 11.1, and now it is 7.3. It's super volatile, right? And there's a lot of
it's actually
dips in
6.9.
76.9, yeah. Or 73. Wait, what? Sorry?
I bought mine today for like 6.9 mil.
Yeah, and yesterday it was 7.3 mil.
Yeah, so she's jumping around.
So in the span of December 27th to now, it went from 11.1 to 6.9.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all because of the friggin' Dragonfire potions and Vorkath and stuff.
Yeah,
but
fair enough.
It's that price, that thing is specifically so volatile that I don't care if I make or lose money. I just want it. I want to use it and get it out of my inventory.
Yeah,
just to get it out of my bank, get it away from me. I don't even buy it for KBD tasks. I don't buy it anymore because I'm ranging all the time. Because I have max melee, so when I'm doing Slayer, I'm gonna like prefer to do the range method of whatever Slayer. But yeah, generally I would flip items that like, that I'm going to be using for like a longer term and whatever. And in between the tasks, I would go do random shit. Like, what'd you do this week? Oh, nothing. Half the reason why is I'm just trying to flip my items to like start Slayer again. Or I would cut for a week just because I don't really want to play, but I want to AFK something. And in the process, I'm flipping all my Slayer items.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually you're like, what do I can get both necklaces. Fuck it. Why not? I'm down. Oh, I can get both boots. Fuck it. Even though I should be selling them and buying things like ACB and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
There are items I just like to kind of hold, and it does look nice to say, okay, well, I'm going to melee or I'm going to range, and I already have all the best in slot stuff, minus the crossbow.
Yeah, okay.
And I can kind of rip through it. It's a slow process. I bought my BGS at like 2 mil at one point. Saw it go to 4 mil, sold it. Now it's like 9.2 mil.
And that all hurts. From the special being lowered from 65 to 50%, right?
And also being very good against Vorkath.
Yeah.
And good with raids too. So it hurts, but yeah, that's fine.
It's the name of the game right there.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're patient with your items, you can make a little bit of profit while you're transitioning from melee to range. Like if you're planning on doing what I did, what I'm doing, I guess, is maxing melee and then going to range through Slayer. You might want to do that. There are some items that no matter what I keep, like the Zamorak Hasta, because like I bought it and I sold it once for like a week and then I bought it again over the course of me pretty much being able to buy it. Soon as I could buy it, I bought it. Because that, like, I've gotten the most use out of it, almost as much as the whip. Because, like, you can bring it to, like, any boss, pretty much. Like, it's so good. It's such a good weapon. The Hasta's, like, it's...
Plus, it offers defensive stats, so,
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of positive things that come from just that weapon alone.
Yep.
Because I have one as well. I got it for Cerberus. And, yeah, that's the thing. I am the opposite in the sense that I buy an item and I just keep it. I never check the prices of it and I just have no plans of ever selling it.
Yep.
Which like, it works out because I got the Sarah Godsword pretty early on. It was one of my, it was my first big ticket item.
Yep, and that's another item. Sorry, go?
No, I was saying it's my first big ticket item and it's like my most expensive item I have right now. And
yeah, but do you now see what I mean when I said like that was the first item you should focus on? Like, do you notice when you go to Slayer, you're like using less prayer potions, using less food?
Yeah, a bit, but really it's the bosses that I noticed that it helps a lot. For like Cerberus, the thermonuclear devil, it helps a lot. There's probably some more that I can't think of, but like there's a lot of Slayer tasks that I do notice it, but at the same time, like. It's the bosses that it really does stand out because because the Crystal Halbert's still a pretty good item, and I would still be bringing that a lot of. You know what I mean? I'm still bringing that sometimes over the Saragod sword for like dark beasts and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a quality of life item itself. You know what I mean?
Yep. And I mean, I did the math a while ago. Hopefully it was right. Probably wrong though. But it was pretty much, you're gonna always, if you're you're never gonna make the money back. But like, I've noticed that, like, I don't buy prayer potions anymore. Mainly because, I mean, I bought the restores, but that was for like PKing and other reasons. But by the time I'm out of prayer potions, which takes a long time because I'm using the God Sword and stuff, I have a nice stack of Renars that I got from Daily Herb Box. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I'm constantly in, like, I'm out. Okay, well, I can make almost 200 prayer pots.
Yeah. Like, I still do kind of buy the potions a lot. Well, I buy them the unfinished potions, and I use that to get my Herblore up, because Herblore kind of fucking sucks to train if you have that as a goal.
Yeah, get it to 78 and then stop for a while.
Yeah, I'm pretty close. I'm almost 77, so that's good.
Nice. So is that all from passively training, though?
Yeah, from farming. I don't sell any of my herbs. I turn them all into potions. Like, I have a stack of like 500 toad flax made into potions because I fucked up, and so you can make them at level 68. You can make extra strong anti-poison potions, and you have to the ingredients are coconut milk, toad flax, and yew root. So naturally, I thought you had to put the toad flax into a vial of water, use the coconut milk with the water, and then put the yew root in with it. Turns out you got to put the toad flax into the coconut milk instead of a vial of water. So I have like 500 toad flax sitting there for whenever I hit level 81, I can turn them into Saradomin brews. But they're just kind of sitting there because any herb I get, I just turn it into a potion eventually. Whether that's through farming or Slayer. Sorry?
How many toad flax do you have?
I have 500.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's like 2 mil or something like that. Let me check real quick. Yeah, well, holy shit, they're 3K each, so 1.5 mil. Okay, yeah, fair enough. That sounds about right. Yeah, and I don't want to sell them because I know when I hit 81 Herblore, it's going to give me quite a bit of experience, and there's just Herblore is so fucking expensive to train, and you almost always train it and lose GP no matter what, unless you're turning the unidentified herbs into identified herbs, or I guess cleaning grimy herbs now, because it's one of the only ways to make money off of it, but it's super slow and kind of tedious to do.
Sorry to kind of derail us for a second, but you know how they used to be unidentified and you just had no idea what kind of herbs they were?
Yeah.
I had a bank system, so I knew which ones were unidentified, and I'd go and sell, like, the Guams, the Haralandis Torments. I'd sell all the shitty ones to people for 1K each.
I remember, because that was a great way to make money. You'd sell them all for 1K each. I'd go to Chaos Druids when I was a low level, and I would just stack them all up. And I remember I sold some guy, and I sold him, like, let's say 50 for 50K. And everyone's always skeptical that you're somehow scamming them. Well, not scamming them, but I guess kind of scamming them. The same way that you were doing it, where, like, you know what they are, so you're selling them Guams, even though you're like, well, who knows? Maybe it's Snapdragons. But I did it, and there's fucking, like, 10 Ranar herbs there. And the dude's like, oh my god, man, I gotta give you some extra money for this. And I was like, I guess that's just the way of the game. I knew what I was getting myself into. And I just like, yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's just the way she goes, but good times. That was a great moneymaker for such a long time.
Yep.
On both the classic 10 years ago, that was the best way to make money, and fucking the first year of RuneScape. Old school RuneScape. It gets really confusing when you're trying to talk about RuneScape back in the day versus old school RuneScape, because it's... Yeah. Anyways... Yeah, I'm just on that Slayer grind. Nothing too exciting there.
I just need to sit down and get 99, so I don't have to, like, stay above you in Slayer experience. Let me just get to 90.
Then it's going to be the 200 mil grind.
There was a time I had a friend, I had, like, a mil Slayer experience on him, and now he's 600k from 98. Or 99, sorry.
Shit.
Yeah. Like, I gotta get on that Slayer grind. I haven't been slacking for a while.
It's all that rimworlding.
Yeah. Yeah, is there anything else that we're missing?
Nope, that's all. I think it's fair that we move right on to the news.
Alrighty, so I guess we'll talk about the polls first, and then we'll go to the actual update. Do you want to do it like that?
Sounds good.
Alright. So we'll just try and rip through these because it's skilling and no one cares about skilling. You know how it is. Yeah, so we'll just move straight into the first poll. Should the spirit tree menu be changed so that the destination of the spirit tree numbers are always the same regardless of which tree you're currently using?
Yeah, so right now, if you're at the GE, it'll be like the first option will be Gnome Stronghold. But then if you're at Tree Gnome Village, the Gnome Stronghold will be like option 2. It kind of changes around like that. But hey, look at an actual quality of life.
Yep,
change.
Actual quality of life.
I can dig it.
In skilling, nonetheless.
Yeah. Who knew?
Yep. Should it be possible to click on the icon of bars whilst in the blast furnace, the bar stock interface, to withdraw all? Right now you have to right click and all that. If you left click, you take one out.
Yeah.
This is a huge buff to blast furnace. This isn't quality. Well, it is quality of life. I mean, I guess technically these are all quality of life, but it will make it better experience per hour for the average person.
Yeah.
Much better, and better on your wrist too.
Exactly, yeah. And I think part of the problem was who's only going to be taking out like one bar.
Yeah.
So you're almost always taking out all 5 bars.
Yeah.
I can't even think of a scenario unless you're using it as a bank. Do Ultimate Iron Men use the blast furnace as a bank?
No. There's no way.
For their ores? They store some ores in there for later?
You can only store like 200, right?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's their idea, is like, who the fuck is ever going to use this for something?
Yeah.
Should have made this disclaimer at the beginning, though, but these aren't just quality of life. They have since changed the name to a more fitting name, I guess. It's like low effort updates.
Yeah. Yep. See, I'm like, I understand that it is a big buff to Blast Furnace, but if you're not efficient at RuneScape and you really are trying when you're focusing, like, I'm not the most efficient player, but when I'm trying to be efficient, I get really stressed out when I can't easily be efficient.
Mm-hmm.
And Blast Furnace was so stressful for me, especially because you have to right click.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, you have to remember when you're doing like mithril bars, okay, it's 2 with the 2 coal, and then 1, you have to keep track of where you are in like the little loop of depositing, and this was just another thing to kind of annoy you. So I do think it's really nice. I'm kind of down for this.
Yeah, but it's good because there's a lot of things in this game that make it tough for, I guess, like an actual casual player, like somebody who can't play every day, and when they can play, they only play for like an hour or so.
Yeah.
So you don't want it to be a frustrating hour, because that's how people quit, right? You want people who have like a family or they have kids to look after and stuff like that. You want them to still be able to enjoy their time on RuneScape when they're playing. You don't want them to have to avoid all of these tedious events because, they're tedious.
And like, okay, if there's like a little button I could press to see how many people started Blast Furnace and said fuck it and went and bought a bot to do it for them, like, probably like stupidly high, because like, bots don't give a fuck if they have to right click, but like humans do. Like, it's like, there's a lot of people that bought Blast Furnace. You go there, like, it's bad.
That's a pretty interesting point, that there's probably a lot of people who, the reason they're botting is because how tedious the actual activity in RuneScape is, or how time consuming and they just don't have that time.
Let's go back to like what you're saying, like a family man who, like, I have an hour and they're doing Blast Furnace, like, fuck, I gotta do 8 hours of this or 18 hours of this, depending on where they are in their grind. And like, fuck, that's gonna take me half a month and I'm not gonna enjoy any of it.
It could take you way more than a month.
But like, you know what I mean? Like, let's say you have like an hour a day, maybe 2 hours on the weekend, you know what I mean? And you have like a goal of like getting 87 or 82, whatever, between 82 and 87 smithing for like your diaries, for like lumber elites. So like, this person's been playing for a while and it's like, okay, suck it up. Or it's like, they're probably just not going to do it. Or, they could say fuck it and just start botting. And I'm not saying that this is make or break, but this is like, having a right click definitely does make it more annoying.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not going to bot this because you have to right click an interface, but there are so many little annoying things in Blast Furnace that like taking away one of them is pretty acceptable, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they have, you used to have to micromanage the furnace itself and they took it out, and now it's a money sink.
God, I remember that.
Yeah, now it's a money sink, so I don't know. Yeah. I like this. But yeah, let's move on to the next Blast Furnace related thing is if the Blast Furnace stock interface is changed to allow clicking on the icon of the bar to withdraw all, should the current text of all be replaced with take one? So it's just swapping the all and the one. I mean, I think if they do the first one, they should do this one as well.
Yeah, because there probably is like one or two people out there. Maybe there's an Ultimate Iron Man who's using this as a bank, and he's
there are some instances where you might only want to take one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Should the names of the fishing spot be changed so they are more relevant to the method of fishing? So net fishing spot would become big net fishing spot or small net fishing spot.
See, that makes sense, but for me, it's like, I'm like, man, it's been like that for so long.
Yeah. So for me, it's like harpoon net, and then there's net and bait. You kind of know which one's which. You know what I mean? But
yeah, although for a more casual player, I can see how it's really easy to forget. Hell, I haven't fished in so long, and I forget which one it gets paired with which.
But like, if you're mobile and you're new to the game, you're like, what? I have a net. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
this is a big net. What the fuck?
Yeah. So I mean, it will be really, really weird, but it's not a big deal.
No, it's not at all in it.
Yeah.
We will adapt.
Yeah. Should the dialogue the Garden Mummy has when selecting the start minigame option and the Pyramid Plunder be removed if you've already seen it once?
They're missing a comma there, aren't they?
Yeah. It's super weird. Taking me like 30 times to say this properly. Yeah, whatever. I mean, obviously, I think it should be removed. No one reads the dialogue the first time. Why are you going to read it the 5th time or the 80th?
Yeah. Yeah, you said it.
Should it be possible to recharge the Pharaoh Scepter when using noted artifacts?
Let me do some digging real quick. Okay, so I didn't know this. The artifacts obviously are referring to the things you can get from Pyramid Plunder. So you get these little artifacts. There's different types. There's ivory, pottery, stone, and gold. And there's various different kinds from that. You can trade it in for money. And right now, it takes 6 gold artifacts of any kind to charge it, 12 stone artifacts of any kind to charge it, and that's it. Just the 2 of those. You can't use pottery or the ivory. So cool. I did not know that. Should you be able to use it noted?
Yeah, I think with numbers that high, you should.
But it's 6 for 6 charges, no?
Yeah, but I don't know. Might as well, right? What if you're using stone?
12? I guess.
Like, if you have a crap ton, say you're an Iron Man, you have a crap ton of these artifacts, and you want to just put as many as you can, like...
You can only charge to a certain amount, though. That's the only thing, right?
Isn't it? I always thought it was pretty high, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, the wiki was fucking me around. It's 24 pottery or ivory artifacts to recharge it. So I think the reason they're saying the noted part is because they're referring to the 24 artifacts required for the lesser ones. Okay. And it has, so it's 24 to fully charge it, which brings it to 3 charges, it looks like.
Oh, okay.
And the charges go up with the higher, with diaries. That's coming off the top of my head, so I might be getting that wrong. Yeah, that seems like a very, I don't know, that one, like, I'm surprised that's kind of in here. I mean, it is quality of life, but...
It's kind of a niche update, but there's a reason why it's in here. It has to be, like, annoying enough to have people go, yeah, can we have this? So, I don't know. We'll continue, though, because we have a decent amount to go through. Should the Guardian Mummy at the Pyramid Plunder be able to take away charges from the Scepter? I don't know why you'd ever want that.
The only thing I can think of, because I was talking to someone in our CC, because he's making his altar for the player-owned house, you need the Pharaoh Scepter for your desert, for the Ancient Magics spellbook in that altar, and he was asking if you needed it uncharged or not. and I wasn't too sure, but maybe this is what it's referring to. Maybe you do need it uncharged.
Okay.
And for someone like an Iron Man who who can't just go out and buy one, they'd have to teleport randomly 3 times, kind of pain in the ass. So maybe, okay.
All right. Should a new option be added to house options menu to allow you to render your player-owned houses without doors? This is mainly for, I guess, if you haven't optimized your house and you have to run through a lot. Or it's render. Okay. So you can keep them open. I guess if you're going to always keep them open, you might as well render them so they're not there. Maybe to save some usage of your PC, especially if you have a big house. Or if you're like if you're hosting.
For me, I can see it if you're accidentally clicking on a door and it closes it.
That's true.
Like,
that's true as well.
Or if someone's trolling around.
Yep.
I saw a video a while back of a guy who'd go to the house parties and just constantly close the doors on the people running to the gilded altar.
Yeah. Ice Poseidon.
Fair
Fun
enough.
fact. Closing doors. That's what he first did on RuneScape before he became what he is today.
Oh boy. Yes, don't close doors, or that's the product of it.
Yeah. Should it be changed so that it no longer requires to confirm via click here to continue? The final dialogue of a servant displaying when you're taking something from the bank or whatever. When you're like interacting with like banking and all that. I think so. It was super annoying having to hit that last space bar because like you assume that like he would just do it once you click off.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, I do think that's pretty nice. Should it be possible to empty the coal bag into your remaining inventory spaces by left clicking whilst holding down the shift key?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yep. Make it consistent with the rune pouch.
Yeah, I think any bags like that, you should be able to shift click and then like.
Okay, yeah. So that brings into, there's also a question for the herb sack and the gem bag with the exact same thing. So they should do that definitely for all of them. Make it consistent.
Yeah, the coal bag, by the way, is again right in line for that blast furnace quality of life. And so that's another annoyance. You got to right click it and click the drop. If you could just shift click, oh fuck, that'd be beautiful.
Yeah. Should the icons of unenchanted gold jewelry be slightly altered to differ from their enchanted versions, like how silver works?
For some reason, I thought that it was pulled like that already, but maybe I'm just
I think there's a client that does that automatically for you. I'm not too sure, but yeah, they should do that. That'd be pretty nice. Should it be possible to store plant cures at the Tool Leprechaun?
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean,
that's a quality of life right there.
Yeah, it's weird that it didn't beforehand, even though by the time I get to my farm runs, they're usually dead already. So yeah.
Should a left click collect option be added to the compost bin that contains compost ready to be collected rather than using a bucket? The speed of using buckets on the bin manually would not be affected.
Fair enough. Sure.
I mean, I really don't think this is necessary.
I don't think it's that necessary either. It's kind of, to me, like the noted artifacts one. But
yeah. The main thing I'm worried about is I don't want everything to have a left click option. That's my only worry.
You don't want to click on an angle and have like a giant menu of 30 different options you can click to?
That, but also, as of right now, you left click to open the compost, and you know what I mean? You know when it's not ready because you can't do that. Yeah. And like, for me, it's like, I don't know, you gotta like, I'm used to just opening it up. Maybe it's just a weird thing I have. You like, oh, I can open it. You open it, use your buckets on it. It's weirdly like open it and then I don't know. It's just super weird. Just I don't know.
It's funny. I was thinking about that earlier this week about some of this that I'm like it's unnecessary, and to me I think it's just I don't want everything to have its own left click option.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's just weird. I can see it being quality of life, but like it's just like I like how the left click is to open and close it when it's ready. To, when you're ready to start composting, when you're ready to start taking out, to have pretty much always a left click on it, besides when it's decomposing the trash in there.
It's a fucking slippery slope, I tell you. Next thing you know, every single water source is going to have a left click option.
This brings us to our next question. Should every single water... No, I'm kidding.
I was going to say, that would be getting a little bit ridiculous.
I mean, this is probably going to pass. I just don't want them to have left click, like, I don't know, everything. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I feel you there. It's nitpicking, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. When clicking on a furnace, should it try to choose an interface to open based on which you're carrying? So if you have only gold or silver, should it automatically open to either of those menus?
What happens if you have both?
Probably just which one would you like to smelt, and it has all the bars at the bottom.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. Sure.
Yeah, I don't care. That's a skip question for me.
Yeah. Should it be changed so that traveling to and from the fossil island via the dig site barge requires less NPC interaction after completing the Bon Voyage quest? You have to talk to 3 to get to the other side.
And the thing is, like, you talk to a guy to board the fucking ship, and then you got to talk to a junior, the junior traveler, and then there's like a senior traveler. Mm-hmm. And you know how easy it is to fucking get to, like, what is it? You go to a smaller, what is it? You go from one boat to another boat?
I believe so.
Yeah, so the amount of times I've clicked on one, wasn't really paying attention which one I clicked it, ended up back at the dig site, being like, how the fuck did I get back here?
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed when I did the quest and going to Fossil Island was like, why can't I right click or left click? No, why can't I right click the guard or whatever that you have to get onto the boat? Why can't I just right click them and go to Fossil Island?
Yep.
Weird. But whatever. That should be, yeah. Should the glass blowing interface be replaced in the new chat box? Introduce the make all update. Obviously, they have to make these things consistent. God damn it, Jagex. Should the leather crafting interface be, the same thing? Introduced with a make all update or improvement update.
That's the thing. Are they going to take away all of these little menus? Because, you know what I mean? Like the smithing one, it'll be weird if that's the odd man out here.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
It'd be nice to have it a little varied, because it's, beforehand, I don't know.
Yeah. Should the enchant crossbolt interface be replaced with the new chat box menu introduced the make all update? You can't make all or make X. You have 1, 5, and 10 sets. Like fletching of arrows.
So it's my same argument as, before.
Mm-hmm. Should the dig site pendant be changed so that when it is equipped, all teleport options are displayed as a right-click option? Yep. Obviously. Yeah. Should the dialogue that appears when attacking a monster you do not have assigned as a Slayer task be changed so it doesn't interrupt picking up the dwarf multi-cannon?
Oh, for the love of God, yes. Even though is that skilling? How'd that sneak in here?
Well, Slayer's a skill.
Yeah.
Hey, ranged is a skill.
Yeah, that's their argument. But for the love of God, yes, fucking change this. Oh my God, I got PTSD from being at the Calphite cave and
yep.
Not be able
just fuck it. I'll go talk to the dwarf engineer later.
Yes.
I give up. Should the left click of the symbol of life altars found within the Tower of Life be changed to activate rather than inspect? I've never been there in my life, so no.
Yeah, I don't really go there either.
Yeah, that's a skip for me. I have no idea. I've never been in there.
I know a lot of Iron Men use it. If you don't know, it's for like, I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but you could no, that's good. Let me look this up real quick. Okay, so I'm going to explain it again. So I know it's used a lot by the Iron Men because it's really good at getting the second ingredients for a herb lore. You kind of, you can summon these monsters and they drop the second ingredients. Okay, here's an example. It's called a new Troost, which is half chicken, half... I guess it's a half chicken, half newt.
Yep, sounds right.
You need an Eye of Newt and a chicken feather to use it. And when you kill it, it always drops the Eye of Newts. And it drops between 4 and 12.
My friend Eye of Newt would like to speak to you. That's all I'm saying.
Shit.
But I know what you mean. Yeah, there's you can get a lot of secondary ingredients and stuff from there.
And I just learned about an item that I totally forgot existed. Do you know what the rune satchel and a tea flask is?
Yeah, you can put like sandwiches and shit in there, right?
Yeah, it's like a bag for your fucking... It's like a lunch bag, but you can put multiple food in it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is awesome. How much do they sell for? See, the wiki's saying the satchels are tradable, but I can't find a price for any of them.
Because it's not traded enough, I guess.
But it's so little that it doesn't even appear on OS Buddy?
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know. Well, we can continue, though. It's not a big deal.
It's not even in... I guess that's a problem. That's a mistake on the wiki. But anyways, point is... Oh, there's also a tea flask. We can hold up to 5 different teas in it.
Damn.
Badass. Let's see
maybe some unfinished porcelain teas.
Oh, shit.
It'll be that one. Maybe that's where that one guy kept his tea or whatever.
Yeah,
a couple episodes ago. Rarest item in the game.
Quite interesting. Anyways, yeah, there's a bunch of things you can get your second ingredients for. There's ones for unicorn horns, red spider eggs, jubbly birds, and cave eels. So, yeah, again, used for Iron Man. Most people just go to the GE to buy it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or NMZ points. But
yeah.
The next one ties into that. Should the items that you use when you're activating on the altars in Tower of Life, should they be taken directly from your inventory, like automatically? Of course, yeah. Should the amount of normal, super, and ultra compost of the tool leprechauns be increased to hold 1,000 each? I'm gonna say yes, unless this takes away from my fucking bank space. Give me more bank space.
Yeah, I agree. I do find that it's a bit unnecessary. Like 250 is quite a bit, but at the same time, whatever. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Should the interface be changed when using a scroll of redirection on a house teleport tab so they can be easier to navigate? Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm always scared about making like a Relica teleport when I want to make a Taverly or something by accident, or vice versa. Should the amount of raw Karambwanji caught be substantially increased based on your fishing level? Of course. That's what you use in the vessels to catch the Karambwans.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is that going to bring down the price of Karabrams? Probably, but
the thing is, most people buy them because it's faster to just buy them from the stores and hop.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Should it be possible to disable the warning message, the upgrade fertile soil spell displays when using it on using it without volcanic ash in inventory? Yep.
Sure.
Should the keyboard shortcuts be added to the mushroom transportation network of the fossil island? Obviously, I don't know why this is a question. They should just do it.
Yeah. They just gotta give it if it fails, it's like they're gonna be like, well, you know what I mean? Like a lot of this thing, they don't plan on it failing.
Yeah, I think it's fluff.
Just they want to even out the PvM to the PvM to the skilling quality.
There's like a bazillion PvM that all pass, 3 for the PvP that 2 of them fail, 1 of them passes, and then like 34 which are pretty much like, I mean, yeah, they want to keep it more consistent. So I guess there's a lot of fluffy things like this, but yeah. Should the crystal saw be changed that it only depletes charges when you're constructing something you don't have the level to do so, but you're required? Yeah. Of course.
I done goofed a few times there. So the crystal saw gives you boosts, like a 3-level boost when you're doing construction. Sometimes you don't need that 3-level boost, but you might have it in your inventory anyways, and you'll deplete its charges. And then you have to go, I think you gotta go use the crystal and get a new, I don't know, it's some annoying shit.
Yeah, it's a pain. I think this is pretty important to do. Should an additional bank location be added to the areas of the blast mine? I mean, if this is a question, I'm assuming it's kind of necessary. I've never been there, and I probably will never go there, to be honest.
I've never been there myself, but I do know it allows you to... It's like the blast furnace, but for mining. Not the great for experience, but great for money. But like I was looking at it, you make from... If you're at like level 65... No, wait, sorry. If you're at level 70 mining, I think you make like 80k an hour. But if you have 75 mining, you make like 400 or 500k an hour.
Jesus.
I might be getting the numbers, like the legit numbers mixed up, but that's what I'm saying. The difference is huge because it gives you like, at level 75, you're able to mine actual rune ore. So, That's why the difference is so huge. Whereas 70, you're just getting Addy, but then once you get to 75, even though it requires you 85 to mine Rune Ore, with Blast Furnace, you can start doing it at 75.
Yeah, Blast Mine. But yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Blast Mine. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's on Zaya, by the way, at the Lovakenge house.
Yeah. Should the left click of the jar generator be changed to Impling Jar rather than Butterfly Jar?
I thought that thing only does Impling Jars. Maybe it does both.
Yeah, I don't really know. I've never looked at a jar generator in my life, so I can't tell you.
You can get it from Puro, and you trade in jars of imps for one, and you use it to create other imp jars, and people would do this to sell the imp jars, because an imp jar sells for only 733, but I think it gives you like 30 of them or something like that. I can't remember, but it works out so that you can make money off using the jar generator.
Oh, okay.
Nothing crazy, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Should the final tunnel used to find the herbivore be changed to the left click as attack rather than search?
I guess so. I've never done it.
I guess it makes finding the herbivore easier.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Should it be possible to reset a box trap from the ground via the right click option? And this would be the same speed as picking up the box trap normally and then setting it manually. Existing box trap methods would not be affected. I think so. This is pretty big. So when I was doing my hunter grind, it was like I would just want to right click and reset it instead of picking it up and dropping it. Yeah,
exactly.
But yeah, that is it for the poll questions.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'll move on to the updates. So PvM update and Wilderness Rejuvenation. Let's talk about this because I'm not too happy.
Oh shit. What's that? Do we get a bitch with the Wilderness Rejuvenation?
Yep. So for the first part, we will talk about, so they did the graphical overhaul for the Mage Arena 2. So
wow, look at this. I never thought we would be I'm assuming we're going to kind of praise this part of the Wilderness Rejuvenation because this is fantastic.
It's fucking sick.
It's not filler, but it's not placeholder.
European flag demons. I don't know, little white dots on a blue thing. Anyways,
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so the Zamrock one is Porazdir. Porazdir. I don't fucking know.
They came up with their own unique names.
Yeah.
Wow, look at them.
So you might like this. Once one of Zamorak's most trusted generals, he now roams the wilderness, killing all in his path. So some lore, you know?
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, pretty dope. Yeah, so for the Saradomin demon, he is now Justiciar Zachariah. He's one of the last remaining Justiciars of Saradomin, and he relentlessly pursues Porazdir on behalf of his god.
That's badass. And he's not even a demon anymore. It would be cool if you saw the two of them. You're not going to see this, but it'd be cool to see them fighting each other. How sick would that be? Because he's hunting him. And
then the Guthix guy, Derwin the Ent, going like, "Stop! No, let's not fight."
Fucking Derwin.
Yeah, Derwin the Ent, an ancient servant of Guthix. He's devoted himself to maintaining balance across the wilderness. Like all these models look sick. Obviously, I've mentioned it before. I think the Guthix one's the coolest, but that's just a personal preference.
If you haven't got your the new Mage Arena cape, you're lucky because you get to kind of witness these new animations, the new models. So we got Porazdir, Justiciar Zachariah, and Derwin.
Yeah.
Fucking Derwin.
Yeah, so alongside that, they have made the dialogue not super bad. They've updated it. I really do like how they added like lore and stuff. I think it makes it really neat. The enchanted symbol that you use to track them no longer asks which boss you would like to search for, and when you only have one boss left to kill, it'll just help you find the last one just to make it more easier. And they nerfed the twisted bow finally. So,
whoa.
Dude, it was so annoying watching streamers die with it, and then 30 seconds later, they have another one because they have a twisted bow.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That bugged me.
Fucking privileged sons of bitches.
Yeah. So there's that, and then the next update is the Rev Caves. So they've gone ahead and buffed the Rev Caves.
No, God! No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Yeah. They've taken out the 100 times item drops.
Oh. Okay, that's good, right?
Well, because they said it felt too private servery, but they added a emblem trader that they added an emblem that you can sell to the trader. There's one that's 4 mil, 8 mil, and 16 mil. They can also be elked for 60% of the sell value.
Really?
Yeah, and all you do is go and trade. You go, like, in the rev caves, you go northwest, and you trade the dude, and he gives you 16 mil cash.
He's just sitting there.
So fucking stupid. It's so stupid. The risk
I
is
don't know why they don't
PKers
get creative with it. Now, I don't mean to. I don't want to go on a huge tangent about the wilderness rejuvenation, because Lord knows we've done that enough. Actually, I kind of do. I kind of miss those days. But anyways,
Yeah.
why couldn't they have got creative with it? Put like a fucking altar that takes you like 20 seconds to fucking, you know what I mean? Like you have to do like channel, like do some channeling animation where you have to like fucking sacrifice the totem for the money.
You have to
And
say
this gives
Rod
you-
is right 3 times in a mirror. Mod Jed. It was a Mod Jed joke. Never
Okay,
mind.
I was like sitting there, what's Rod?
Rot.
Oh.
Anyways, go on.
Yeah, anyways, I'm surprised they don't get creative with it. They just make it like as less creative as possible. Yeah, you just trade it to the guy that takes the other emblems. But he's in Edgeville, but he's also here at the same time. I know it's like nitpicking that stuff, but you know what I mean? Like you could get creative instead of copying and pasting that guy.
Yeah, here's my issue is they like to reiterate they are open to replacing statuettes in the future. So it's pretty much like, yeah, we know this is shit and this is stupid. It's bringing in dumb money into the game because it's now 5 mil an hour in max gear. You know, hey, maybe you should have voted yes on uniques. They say they're going to replace them if unique rewards can be agreed upon. And it's like,
You
it's
got
such
to
a
think
it's
of
a
good
dick
uniques
move.
first.
It's a dick fucking move. How about this? I'm open to the idea, and the more I think about this, the more I think it's a good idea. Add PvP armor that is untradeable. Untradeable, and it doesn't work on PvM monsters.
But also fucking don't make it so it's like 10 times stronger than the next best in slot item.
Make it Barrows level. Make it maybe a little bit better than Barrows, like a teensy bit better.
Or make
even
it
in between.
as strong as Bandos. Or like make it Bandos and Barrows put together. Make it as defensively as strong as Barrows, but as offensively as strong as Bandos. Boom. It's the new best in slot, but it's not fucking anything crazy where they had it, which was like 2 times as stronger as both of them. Which, I don't know, fuck.
How about this? Why don't they just make it in between Barrows and Bandos and make it non-degradable or something?
The problem is you also want it to be pretty good. So I'm just saying, like, I feel like if you tuned it offensively, because they want to have offensive stats and defensive stats apparently, but you can make it as defensively as Torags and as offensively as Bandos, it would be the new best in slot, but it wouldn't like you wouldn't see anything crazy out in the wilderness where people are like fucking hitting 80s, 86s with the fucking AGS now.
It's just like make it untradeable, because if you want the Rev Caves to be somewhere where PKers want to fight other PKers and shit, like don't make it a hunting ground for fucking little level 60 noobs that are like, one iteming and they get nothing. Well, I guess now they're actually getting loot from them. Make it a place where PvPers need to get shit and other PvPers go there to kill them or whatever. Like take PvMers and skillers out of the equation and like make PKers want to fight there. Make it like the new level 20 Black Knight's Fortress. Make it the new area of that where, you used to go there and do multi-fights way back in the day. Or at least I used to back in like 2006, 7, way back then.
Mm-hmm.
Make it like that. Yeah, you want to make it for PvPers. I know this is PvM, but this is PvP. This is a PvP update we're talking about right now. Like, fucking, I don't like, 5 mil is disgusting. It is the best moneymaker in the game. And the issue is you can die to PKers. That's the only risk. Vorkath
so there's a little debate going on how much you can get per hour. It's hard to say right now because it's super packed there. But there are some people coming out saying they're making about 5 mil an hour, which is just, what was it? A couple weeks ago we were bitching about Vorkath being like 3 or 4 mil an hour or something like that.
Well, yeah, the main thing is if you bring best in slots, you have the best in slot prayers and jewelry, and you're bringing the best 3 item or 4 item if you're risky, but you have like the best in slot, like you're making 5 mil an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't compare, obviously a level 60 with like a rune crossbow isn't making 60 mil, but a level 126 max with an Elder Maul, Torture, Berserker, maybe Primordials if he's feeling risky, that's probably not a good idea, obviously, but you know, like Piety, obviously, like, he's definitely going to make like 4 times the amount of money as the other dude. Like,
and here's the problem when you're balancing a drop table around, like, these are basically pure cash drops. They're no different than the alchables, except for the fact they don't look as silly as 100 dragon plate legs being dropped. But they're basically the exact same thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is when you don't put uniques in like this, like, sure, it's a super rare chance of getting a 16 mil drop, but the fact that it's a 16 mil of just cash drop. Now, I've been reading on the subreddit, and I saw one of the arguments being like, well, just because it's super rare, like that, it's because it's super rare to get a 16 mil drop, it's pretty balanced. And then if the argument's like, well, that's just a stupid way of doing it, you can't just like balance it by, you know, taking the drop rate, taking the cash value, dividing it by the drop rate, and that's how you balance it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not really how you should be doing it. And some people are saying, like, well, should the elite clue scroll... The elite clue scroll is similar to that. You have a very rare chance of getting, like, a 500 mil drop. So should that be allowed?
Yeah. Well,
but the difference is, the 500 mil drop is coming from an item where the player base has decided that that's what they value that item at. It'll change over time. But imagine the elite clue scroll had a very small chance of giving you 500 mil cash.
Yep. The big thing is, it's like, one, well, they're not comparable because you don't farm elite clues. So, like, you can't really draw that comparison. Like, well, elite clues do this, but I do agree with you where it's the most important thing is that there is an item, the player base holds the item at a certain value, just like how Tentacle or the Abyssal Whip is held at like around 2 mil. It used to be more. It used to be like it was dropping in price and the player base was unhappy with it. So Jagex went, okay, we'll fix it. This is like, we want you to get 16 mil possibly. And so here is essentially 16 mil cash.
Yeah. And the only way that ever changes is that the gold, and it's from gold inflation, where old school RuneScape gold is not worth as much as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, that's where things get tricky. You should never, and I think the big problem is they came out of, when they proposed this update, they said, this is what the gold will be per hour. They've never done that with anything else, and they shouldn't have done it with this.
Yeah.
So they felt the need to do that. They're looking for uniques. I don't know who they're discussing uniques with, because if you go on the forum, you'll see a plethora of ideas for new uniques and like different effects and stuff like that. I've pitched my idea for rings, I think twice on this podcast, which I'm surprised they don't look at that. Like, I don't know where they're kind of combing through to find ideas for these. You know what I mean? Are they just looking for something that's on the front page of Reddit?
Okay, this is what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to revamp our Kickstarter. Instead of it's let Deegan take a dump at Jagex HQ doorstep, it's gonna be fly Dills out for presentation on items while I take a dump on the Jagex HQ doorstep.
I'll come with my own PowerPoint.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like I had some unique ideas. I'm not saying whether they're probably very flawed, but my only point is, like, they're looking for uniques. Tons of people are giving them, but they're not like, it's like they're looking for someone to completely create the items for them and not just pitch a few ideas being like, hey, how about a ring that gives you a chance to recoil like an ice barrage and freeze your opponent for half of the time? It's like they're sitting there like, yeah, but since the ring has no stats, I don't think it'll work out too well. You know what I mean? But like, they could easily take ideas and be like, well, maybe that's, I don't like that idea for a ring, but maybe we take that effect and put it on a cape. Then we give the cape some magic stuff. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck creates the items and balances shit there? I don't think anybody does, but like, yeah, I don't know.
The main thing is that
it's frustrating.
Like, I mentioned this before, but this doesn't rejuvenate the wilderness. This kills the wilderness as a whole.
You know
as
what
a concept.
rejuvenates the wilderness?
What?
fucking having the tournament worlds where people can go and practice PvP with any sets of armor and see like, oh, this is kind of fucking fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying that that actually rejuvenates it, but it gets people interested in it. I know I do it, and I go, man, tri-birding is pretty fun. If I had the money to do it, I would probably be practicing.
Yeah. Like, okay, yeah. Well, I'll just go back and say this quickly, and then we can move on, because people are probably sick of this. Okay, first of all, it's better money per hour than raids, which is the end game content. Better money per hour than Vorkath, which is already silly, but, you know, it's the Zulrah 2.0. Obviously, that being said, it's better than Zulrah, but raids 2.0. If this is kept at 5 mil, is raids 2.0 going to be 8 mil? What are they going to, because no one's, okay, I'm going to do it because I think the armor's fucking sick. I think the new armor is badass, but I mean, people are going to do it, one, for fun in the beginning, but, you know, that guy that has 1,000 raids done, he's not doing it for fun, he's doing it for money.
Yeah, a little bit of both, but yeah.
But like generally, like the big money, like I bet you if they said, all right, raids are 1 mil an hour at best, I would still do them up until like kill count 30 when I'm bored.
Yeah. There's a reason why half the mini games in this game that are actually fun are dead. It's because you're not getting experience or you're not getting good rewards from it.
Yeah, it will. And the issue is that Jagex is set from, they went from, okay, so this is worth 16 mil because the item is so cheap already that it literally can't go any lower. And so that's them in the beginning. This is them placing on the table, this is how much money you're going to make per hour. And then people go, that's stupid. All right, we're going to just delete that item, that drop, or we're going to put like we're going to put this item that is literally, you trade it in for 16 mil. It's like, imagine if RS3 went, all right, so the party hat goes for 2 bill. Yeah, we'll make it a high elk value of 2 bill. We don't want it to ever go down in price. We want party hats to actually have value, not what the players hold it at. They want it to have legitimate in-game value that you can high elk at this price. Like, it's really, really silly that they're the ones setting the prices for this, and they're doing it in a silly way. They're setting it in a ridiculously high money, like 5 mil per hour. You can grind out a bond in under an hour.
Yeah.
Just like, why don't they make them take out the 4, 8, and 16 mil GP drops, replace them with a roll for a bond? I'd actually prefer that. I would actually prefer that over this.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, add shards of a bond where you have to spend money to spend a mil to make it into an actual bond. Iron Man might actually do this, so you don't have to, you know, dick around, and people might do it because, like, hell, they want a free chance at a bond. Like, why don't they do that? It would change the gold per hour by a lot while still being as private servery and keeping a specific value. You know, hell, it would even go up a bit maybe over time.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's and to bring this back to how you were saying with raids. So what happens if none of the uniques pass for the raids? Do we vote no on raids too then? Something that could be potentially really cool content, but we don't want a bunch of alcohols on there. Do we just like, no, we don't, you know what? I know the content itself looks really great, but since the uniques didn't pass the first or second time around, we're not going to risk it and having another an emblem rewarding piece of content. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So that's my problem too. It makes players, it kind of makes me think that like, well, shit, I really hope they pull uniques first before they pull the actual content, because if the uniques don't pass, do we just vote no on the content that, even though we really would want to see it come in, should we risk it and have it, kind of be, you know what I mean? Like super half-assed done.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That's the thing that I don't know. It's kind of it's a shame. And I don't think this in itself might not be the most healthiest for the game. But what I'm worried about is like, if this is what they're doing for Rev Caves, are they going to keep doing it down the road?
Well, like I said, how much will raids 2 per hour be? They've already set a precedent of them telling us this is how much you're making per hour. This is how much we want you to make per hour. So what are they going to do with raids? Are they going to double it? Because it's going to be very high requirements. It's going to be 10 mil per hour.
Are they going to pull the raids 2 armor twice? And if those don't pass, they're okay, scrap them.
Yeah, okay, alchables.
Okay, throw them on the new master clue. They'll be a cosmetic
we're gonna have
item.
Noted bonds, because now we're creating noted bonds. There's 12 bonds. It's a 5% chance to get 30 bonds. Anyways,
yeah, we'll move on. Jagex, we love you out there, but you know, sometimes I do feel like, at least I do, I hold RuneScape to like a higher standard than most things. You know what I mean? But it's because I think my big problem is we've seen them deliver so many great updates, done so well in the past with this year mainly. With raids, well, not this year, but last year with raids, the Inferno, all that stuff. So when you see something like this, you're just like, shit, I thought we were kind of past this. Yeah,
I feel like Jagex is that restaurant that cooks that really, really good meal, and you're like, they give it to you, and you're like, oh man, this is so good. And then like a waiter comes by, like Mod Jed, and just like puts a bunch of salt on, and you're like, dude, this is perfectly fine. Why do you... Well, you guys want more stuff, like, right? You want more flavor. Here's more flavor. It's like, no, fuck, stop, you're ruining it. Okay, I'll put on some pepper. Like, no, stop. And they just like keep putting shit on. Like, no. Okay, here, I'll make you a new meal. This is old school RuneScape. Let's just go back. We'll make you the original meal. We ruined this one. We're gonna cook you a new meal.
Do you want cheese this time? Yeah, okay, but I didn't screw the top on, and all the cheese fell at the top. So cheese is really good, but now it's one
wow,
big
Deegan, I'm about
dish.
to sneeze on your meal. if you don't vote yes in this poll. No, seriously. Oh, fucking asshole. It's like, what is... Anyways, I'll just say this before we continue. My conspiracy hat, my little get your tinfoil hat on, conspiracy
I don't got the
corner
X-Files
time.
music's queued up, but whatever, let's hear it.
So with this inflation of gold coming in, is in preparation for mobile when everyone starts buying bonds and selling them, which would cause bonds to dip hard. And then, if bonds go for like elk value, it's like 1.2 mil or something, people are going to be less pressure to buy bonds. So if they inflate, if they're putting 5 mil an hour in, bonds might go up to 10, 12 mil. It's counteracting in preparation of all the bondscapers that are going to be coming into the game. Tinfoil hat.
You're a mole for the RuneScape marketing team, aren't you?
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
I'm just next level. That's what I would do if I was them.
Fucking that's so Deegan over
trying
here.
To milk that cow. Yeah, we'll move on to like the PvM quality of life. So pretty much everything passed.
Yeah.
So I'll just rip through these quickly. You're now able to left click bank all when using the soul bearer to bank and sold heads. You can now right click to change their spell books when using the occult altar within the playground house. I've already noticed a lot of use out of that. They're good use. It's so convenient. You can now left click to inflate swamp toads when an ogre bellow is present in your inventory, and you can suck swamp bubbles into your bellow. You can right click to empty your dwarf cannon. Previously you'd have to dismantle it to empty it out. The crystal halberd now deals full damage to the court beast. Previously its damage was reduced when using against the court beast. Players wearing the Ring of Wealth will now be able to automatically pick up Tokal and Nummulites. Gravestones, which require payment, will now take payment directly from your bank. Players who have I actually didn't know that passed, but it makes sense. I should start using that when I die at Vorkath like an idiot. Players who have 200 mil experience in any skill can now keep getting experience drops. The new rune extension perk included to the Slayer rewards store increases the task size of rune dragons between 30 and 60. It used to be 15 to 25, so they've doubled that. Small, medium, large storage chests within the Chamber of Xerix have now been reduced in root plank requirements, which is super nice. The Dagonoth's bones dropped when killing the kings will now prioritize the hide when both items are on the floor. This will apply to the noted form once you get the Fremnik Elites done. Herb seeds will now appear higher on a loot pile than the less useful the seeds. You can now right-click the crevice shortcut within the Kelphite layer to listen if other adventurers are fighting the queen.
So
you can now search
a listen instead of peek.
Yeah, you can now search Crux Dungeon to check where the players are. The look-in option will search a specific part of the tunnel, or you can look in all. This is for Monkey Madness 2 if you're barraging.
Mm-hmm.
Vedian will now use its magic attack less frequently than before. Its melee range has also been reduced. Previously, it was able to attack you with melee despite not being within close proximity.
Still gonna safe spot it.
Yeah. The Chaos Elemental now uses its teleport attack less frequent, and Callisto is less frequent with her knockback. The Lizardman Shaman special attack spawns will no longer occur in quick succession. The Staff of Light can now be created by combining the Light and the Staff of the Dead, and the Light can be used to auto-cast Saradomin Strike. The staff looks so fucking cool.
It does look cool.
So badass. The Barbarian Spirits laid to rest by burning pirate ships can now be tracked and viewed within your Barbarian Skills book, or the Adventure Log in your POH. This count will only apply to spirits laid to rest from today's game update and onwards. The Grotesque Guardians now have a timer added for players to track their fastest kill. And you may now hand Kraken Tentacles to leave to further enhance the number of charges of the Trident of the Seas and Swamps. You give them 10 Kraken Tentacles and your Trident will now hold up to 20,000 charges. Bronze Axe is now at the Ice Demon room at the Chamber of Xeric. The party interface of the Chamber of Xeric will now display kill count, which I know has been an issue for free-for-alls and 5-man plus teams, because people lie about the kill count and they're complete trash boys. So, now you can actually see if they're lying about their kill count. We don't have always party. I can't tell you my kill count. Anyways, a message broadcast will be sent to notify all party members who has received which drop from any of the bosses in Chamber of Xeric. If players attempt to use a special attack with insufficient energy, they'll instead of a special attack failing, they'll just use a regular attack. So it doesn't mess up, your auto retaliate if you don't have it on. Players can now ask the wounded soldier found inside the Lizardman Canyon, how many adventurers are currently in the East Canyon and West Canyon.
Cool.
Yeah, in other news, you can now use Black D'hide shields as part of your evil outfit in the Shadow of the Storm. Players will now be notified upon the correct level up message when it's possible to fletch magic shields from 87. It used to be 86, which is incorrect. Players logging into free-to-play worlds while navigating the Drainer Manor in the Champions Guild shortcut will find themselves placed on solid ground. The Monster Examine will now display the effect of the Dragon Bane, which is the passive from the Dragon Hunter crossbow. So you can actually see which monsters are affected by your 30% buff.
Right. And Monster Examine is a lunar spell, right?
Yeah. It isn't possible to sail to Intron with any ballistae of any kind. Previously, it was possible to bypass restrictions imposed by the monks of Intrana. And bottled wine is now treated like jugs of wine when dropped in the wilderness. So, yeah, keeping it consistent with food. The incorrect spelling of pizzazz has now been corrected with the progress hat.
Only took them. Shit, how long is that update? How old is that update?
Dude, that update is fucking old.
Just realized that now. That's great.
Players can now only enter the cave on top of the Trollheim from the correct direction.
Okay.
And last week's engine changes were made to help increase the optimization of the friends list. These changes had the unintended effect of causing error with the legacy ordering of your friends list. So they fixed that stuff if you had issues.
Cool.
They fixed the issues of your minimap not correctly displaying and players in your clan chat and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So.
Interesting. First thing I want to know, because I had to check because you confused me when you said this, when you mentioned being able to fletch magic shields, talking about the magic tree shields. So with the magic logs?
Yeah.
I was like, when the fuck did you fletch magic shields?
Quality of life, major update, we're sneaking it in.
Squeeze her on in here. So yeah, that's what that was. And then earlier, because you mentioned this, I want to make a little note because you were just fucking going right. You were blasting through those quality of life updates.
Oh yeah.
How cool would it be when instead of peeking into the Calphite Slay, you had to listen. You had to turn on your sound effects to hear if the guy was fighting him. Literally,
that would be pretty badass. You just hear dun 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 dun, like you hear them die.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. And I want to note your that little corporal beast or the corporal pet change didn't show up on here, did it?
Thank God. I'm telling you, there's some Jagex employee that's listening and is like, God damn, we gotta hire these guys. But one of them's threatened to take shits on our doorstep like 6 times, 3 times in one episode. Probably episode 1 too.
Yeah. It's one aggressive interview.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty it's fair enough. Is that it for the updates?
Just want to go back to what we were talking about. If they ever bring me into an interview, I got a question for you guys. How dare you? How dare you? Anyway, sorry. Let's continue.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I should say this quickly.
Yep.
RuneScape turns 5. Old School RuneScape turns 5 on the 22nd of February. They're gonna have a 3-hour stream. Yeah, so it'll be pretty neat. Just want to mention that they're gonna have a 3-hour stream in a bit over a week. We'll probably talk about it again by the time in our next update podcast stuff. But anyways,
interesting. Anyways, moving on. I read something probably I can't remember how long ago, but it was in the recent weeks. You mentioned about the Numalite and the Tokal being automatically picked up with the Ring of Wealth, which got me, remembering this part. I had seen suggested, and I believe some of the J mods, or at least one of them, said that they really like this idea. Whether or not we'll ever see it, I could see it be a bit controversial, but the suggestion was to have 2 ring slots. 1 ring slot for the rings we use now, like Berserker Ring and all that shit, and then having like a utility ring slot, which is where you'd put like a Ring of Dueling, or you'd put like the Ring of Wealth, or the rings that don't actually give you any stats or do anything to affect your gameplay for the most part. Well, it affects your gameplay, but they don't affect your combat.
So it's funny that you say that, because the second you start talking about like a second ring slot, my knee-jerk reaction is like, no, and then it's like, wait a minute. That's kind of nice.
I mean,
I could play with that idea.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not a bad idea. It would have to be tuned properly, but it makes sense. You can wear multiple rings.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of rings. Yeah.
Check out my 10 Berserker rings and view, baby.
Could you imagine? Fuck. That's too funny. But yeah, there's a lot of rings that are decent out there that nobody else uses. You know what I mean? Imagine, Ring of Wealth. I'm never going to use that ring unless I'm going into the wilderness. See,
I used to use that shit all the time when I was a little nooblet. When I was like way back in like actual old school days, like 2004 or 5. I remember saving up for a Ring of Wealth, being like, this is how I get good drops. This is the secret to get good drops, is a Ring of Wealth. Like, you know what I mean?
I remember it was undisputed that people thought it was the way it just increased your chance of getting better drops. You'd be killing, fire giants, and they're just like, do you have a Ring of Wealth? No, I don't have a Ring of Wealth. Dude, are you an idiot?
Yeah,
like, you're never going to get the Dragon Medium helmet if you don't have the Ring of Wealth on.
You never... Well, Dragon Medium's on the rare loot table, right? So that one might make
Dragon
sense.
Medium was just... I'm going to look it up right now, actually, because I'm curious what the drop rate is, but I'm pretty sure the fire giants just had a really small chance of dropping it. Same with the Dust Devils dropping the Dragon Chain Body. Oh, it is on the rare drop table. You're right.
Yeah.
Wow. Let me look up the Dust Devils then, because...
Dust Devils is an actual drop.
Yeah, 1 in 32,000. Holy fuck, yeah. I can't believe I actually tried to get that.
Yeah. Like, I remember with the Ring of Wealth, I thought it was like Fire Giants, you'll get more Rune Scimitars from it.
Yeah, that was the idea.
Yeah, but the only thing is, though, if it would kind of be more, because hitting the rare loot table is kind of nice for, like, crappier tasks and stuff.
Yeah, it's usually like a gem.
But yeah, I don't know. I really do like that idea, though. As long as they keep it in line of like a Ring of Dueling type of a thing.
It would give them chances to kind of bring in these new uniques. That's what everyone's worried about. Is it being dead content, or if it's going to be too strong? But if you have like things that aren't stat changing, even the Ring of Recoil, that'd probably go with your not in the utility slot, right?
Yeah.
So it affects combat, but anything that didn't really affect your combat, you could put there. You could start coming up with different ideas. Like, can't even think of any off the top of my head, but yeah, it's something to explore. Just quickly with the Ring of Wealth things, I'm just reminiscing a bit. So yeah, everyone thought it would increase your the drop rates of a rare drop. But I remember a forum post came out down the road, and the guy's like, hey, I just did a bunch of kills with the Ring of Wealth and a bunch of kills without the Ring of Wealth. It turns out we were wrong. It doesn't increase the drop chance. What it does is increases the amount of gold that drops. And everyone's like, oh, that makes total sense. All right, I'm still going to use this. And it turns out that one was wrong too.
Yeah, it's the good old days.
The ignorance of youth.
Yeah. All in all, though, kind of like the Skilling blog, I kind of feel bad that I'm so meh about. Like, I don't really care for the updates.
I like any legitimate quality of life, like the blast furnace thing, the pouches, being able to shift click. Those are all great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of them I'm just like, it's not really that big of the deal. That's how I felt about the player-owned house altar, where you can right-click it now and just click which spellbook to change to. Before, I was like, I never really felt like it was kind of a pain in the ass to do it, because I only do it maybe maximum 5 times a day, and that's kind of a lot. And if I'm, you know what I mean, switching between 5 different spellbooks, it's a little excessive. But even then, it's not that big of a deal for me to do that. Quality of life is always good to have. This game is so outdated that it's an old game, so you have a lot of things that are outdated and just like super tedious to do just because. And it's like we were talking about before. It sucks to have things being super tedious just because they've been that way.
Yep. Like, there are some things that I will always think it should be like just that way in this game, just because I don't know. But then also, like, the whole ring idea, I'm also open, because that's interesting. That's a nice that's some good spice, good little flavor to the game.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. We'll have to. Nothing might ever come with that, so we'll have to see.
Kind of stop with a ring of dueling is all I'm saying.
They're gonna fucking shoot up in price.
Oh, shit. I should mention. I was flipping. I was buying up a bunch of goblin males. You can buy 15 every 6 hours.
15?
And guess how many? 15, I believe.
1,000?
Guess how many? No, just 15 goblin armors.
That's the max?
Per 6 hours, yeah.
Why so little?
Well, guess how many I have now?
How many?
20,000.
You have 20,000.
Yeah, I accidentally sold 200 for 1 GP because I'm an idiot. But yeah, I have 20,000.
You can buy 15. Not 15,000?
You can buy 15 goblin males per 6 hours or whatever, like the GE limit is. 4 or 6 hours, whatever that limit timer is.
Do you do it like twice a day for the past year?
No, I put like 5,000 at this amount. I did that on 4 different accounts.
Jesus Christ, that's hectic.
Yeah, it's a 2 mil investment. I invested 2 mil. And I'm waiting for the mobile update.
Oh, dude, that is fucking smart.
Yeah, it's I did the math. It was almost exactly 2 months of buying nonstop on 4 different accounts. I think at the time I had started, and like when I started implementing other accounts, it was like, all right, beginning of February, I'll be done.
Damn. All right, I'm gonna start buying some chicken eggs. Get that cook's assistant down.
Yeah.
Some balls of wool.
Yeah.
Shit. That's a good idea, dude. Though. Make a note on that. I'd love to hear how much you make once it's released, or a week after it's released.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see about that. It's got to be just around the corner now.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned before, I'm not expecting all the players to do it. I'm expecting bot farms to pop up, and while they're doing their quests and stuff through their bot farming. Because they're given a bunch of money, right? And they just put in buy-ins of like 5K just so the program, all right, just buy all these and go out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of new players aren't gonna like beeline it to the GE.
Yeah, they're gonna go kill goblins and cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Goblin
they're gonna get this armor. They're gonna try to wear it. oh, maybe I have to complete this quest before I wear it. You know what I mean? Something like that. So
Okay, how do I make this die now? Okay. Get some wood leaves.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So fuck, that's going to be... I'm excited to see. We'll have to keep some tabs and see how the game kind of changes, or maybe we'll have to go covertly become noobs and walk amongst them and see if we notice a change of attitude. That'd be great. Who knows? And you know what? I don't think I mentioned this. I'm sorry if I did mention it, but I'm trying to think right now. I mentioned it to someone and I thought it was you, but now I'm thinking about it. I don't remember having the conversation. Anyways, I went and did free-to-play Castle Wars a couple weeks ago. That shit's dead.
No.
I went there and there was 3 people in it and they were all level 60s and 70s. And me being 120, I felt like such an asshole just going in there because I was fucking just trashing them, and I felt so bad that I ended up just fucking my team over and letting the other team win because I was like, this isn't fair at all. I thought it would be jam packed, but anyways, the reason I'm bringing that up is because maybe we'll see free to play Castle Wars actually become populated again.
Yeah, I'm gonna chalk up a lot of it dying to max level members and high level members being bored, oh, check it out, and then you go trash a bunch of trash boys, and they don't.
I think it's a bit of that. I did some I also looked into it a bit, and it could also be the fact that the portal is so fucking away from civilization. It's at Clan Wars, which doesn't get too much use.
That, and it is so hard to kill people in free to play with rune and stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was what would make it fun. Having your fire blast or whatever, the fire wave, whatever the one with death runes is. But I was thinking, I thought it would be good, but no, there's nobody playing it, and I was super disappointed.
Yeah.
But anyways, enough about that and the fucking free to play Castle Wars because nothing happened there. Some things that actually did happen within the community. Lots of complaining about revs, but we're not going to get into that. On a more positive note, the Zezma of old school RuneScape. Some of you may know him, some of you may not, because it's really hard to trump the legacy that Zezma left, even though he doesn't play old school RuneScape. Mm-hmm. But good old Lynx Titan got 200 mil experience in rune crafting this week.
No way.
That's a fucking unbelievable...
how many, he's got 2 skills left now, right?
Yeah, so if you don't know who Lynx Titan is, he is a player who is going for 200 million experience in every single skills. 200 mil is the cap. You can't go past 200 million. And currently he's got every single skill done except for magic, which is 159 million experience. Agility, which is 115 million experience. And lastly, mining, which is 14 mil experience. So I guess getting pretty close, but with mining, that's going to be a long haul there. But you know what? Pretty crazy because it's pretty well known that rune crafting is the slowest experience you can get in the game.
Yeah.
If he's able to do that, mining is not going to be an issue, but...
So he said... that he did combats and stuff first. He did the fastest methods first because they're not really going to get buffed. They're already at its peak. And mining is known as one of the slowest. Mining, agility, and runecrafting are the slowest.
Yep.
So he did runecrafting because the community is very lava runes. We want that to be the best forever. We're very set on that. And mining is really bad, and so is agility for experience per hour, and so he's saving those for last just in case better methods come out. Mm-hmm. Because I always assumed he just played a bunch, but he is he plays 12 plus hours a day, and he's max efficient. He's very very efficient. He's doing the best methods very very well, using AHK and all that stuff. He's playing as much as well as he can. Yeah, if you can watch some of he's got a few YouTube videos up there where you can see him in action, and it's kudos to him. Yeah, so his next skill will most likely be agility, and the reason why his magic is so high but it's not done is because like EHP, efficient hours played, EHP like players, they will use magic imbue whenever they're doing anything.
Yeah.
And they pretty much have like a timer in their head, like every 30 seconds or whatever, then they just click it because you're able to magic imbue like while you're doing like everything. And it doesn't interrupt your like 3 ticking of fishing and all that stuff. If you're doing it properly, it doesn't like hurt your experience per hour.
Sweet. What is magic imbue?
It is, I believe that's the spell that lets you make lava runes pretty much. You have earth runes and like you imbue your runes together. I believe that's what it does.
Gotcha.
I might be wrong though. Let me double check. Okay, yeah. So you can cast a spell about every 12.6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So you're able to do it quite a bit. It gives you 86 per cast. So if you're doing that, let's just say every 13 seconds for 12, like you're getting a lot of free magic experience while you're doing other things. So he's going to max magic experience just while he's doing these last 2 skills.
Yeah, he's, probably going to be alching while he does agility. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, very interesting. He did say once he's done, he'll do it again on his second account. Once he's maxed his experience and everything.
Damn.
He's going to do it all over again. Because he's already completely maxed an RS3 on his account.
It's unreal.
Yeah, very, very impressive.
It's yeah, I'm gonna struggle enough just to get 99, let alone 200 mil and even 1 skill. Fucking every skill. That's crazy, but it's really interesting to see over the years. You'd see these little pop-ups of, he just achieved 200 mil here, boom, 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 and you know what I mean? Like soon enough, first player to fucking max out every skill. So
I will say this, right now, his total experience is 4,289,866,297.
Damn.
So he's got he's got over 4 billion experience in me, more than I do. But in second is Hey Jays, who he does stream on YouTube. On Twitch, He's got 3,879,112,793. So there's a 410 million, I think. Yeah, almost exactly 410 million experience difference, which is like I have like 200 and something million experience on my account.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked. It's kind of funny. I had his high score page pulled up when we started the podcast, and the number you gave was different, so I just refreshed. I'm like, oh, look at that. He's trained it since we've been doing this. We've been recording, so.
What an animal. What a monster.
Yeah. He's a bot.
Yeah.
We got a bot out there. But that being said, the community's been preoccupied with the wilderness rejuvenation, so not too much has been said, unfortunately. And I think that basically leaves it for the community, Jazz.
Yeah.
Which now just leaves us for some lore. All right, so for the past couple weeks now, we've been talking about some of the races that are within Gielinor and Oldschool RuneScape. So this week, I figured we would talk about the Gnomes. Besides humans, Gnomes are one of the biggest and most concentrated races in the game. Not only do they have their own empire, their culture is pretty rich with their own style of foods, clothing, different types of transportations, as well as sports. And by sports, I mean the good old Gnome Ball, everyone's favorite minigame. It's also dead, rest in peace. Gnome appear as short men, women, and children, approximately 2 to 3 feet tall. The gnomes are very human-like and often seen dressed in green tunics and trousers with red and green pointed hats. In many ways, they appear pretty similar to dwarves, although unlike dwarves, they rarely have facial hair and also have pointed ears similar to the elves. So I think there's a little conspiracy there, but you'll see why in a bit. Gnomes are regarded as one of the more intelligent races in RuneScape. Gnomes have a pretty high standard of living. They generally love nature, making their homes in treetops and living in heavily wooded areas. Despite being known and seen as a very peaceful race, they are also very well trained in military and are capable of overwhelming most armies through sheer numbers. You can also see them do battle mounted on prehistoric terror birds and on top of tortoises. And that's specifically seen on the Battle of Khazard. But besides that, most gnomes, even civilians, all carry bows and or some carry metal weaponry as well. They are a highly diplomatic race holding alliances with many other mortal races, both in and outside Kandaren. Often you will see gnome ambassadors, researchers, or explorers attempting to increase their knowledge of the world in both large cities and unexplored areas. They are also one of the most technologically advanced races in the game, rivaled only by their counterpart, dwarves. One of the more notorious inventions is the Gnome Glider, which is an aerial transport system used both in combat and peace. But other technological innovations include ballistic military devices, parachutes. They also have knowledge of elven crystal equipment. Generally, gnomes follow the god of balance, Guthix, which should be obvious due to their love of nature. So, like most of the other races on Gielinor, gnomes arrived at the beginning of the Second Age, and during that age, they dwelt on land with the dwarves, elves, and humans. They built great and powerful cities, and many technologies from that period cannot even be reproduced today, even with all their wisdom and intelligence. During the God Wars, gnomes did not partake in any of the battles. Similar to the dwarves, they hid underground. Although, after the God Wars, unlike the dwarves, they returned back to the surface at the beginning of the Fourth Age, which is called the Great Migration, which is when they found their new city that we know, the Tree Gnome Stronghold. This began with the planting of the Grand Tree, and many other settlements were created through the same way. For example, the Tree Gnome Village. In the beginning of the Fourth Age, gnomes often had to fight overland with other goblin tribes who were driven out from Fedlip Hills by ogres and were seeking a new place to settle. Eventually winning those battles, the goblins were forced to move more north. So the gnomes have two main cities, their capital being the Tree Gnome Stronghold, but also having the Tree Gnome Village. But on top of that, they also own a shipyard which is located in eastern Karamja. And if you want to see some of their military capabilities, you can visit the battlefield of Khazard, which is an ongoing battle the gnomes are having against the Khazard troops. And I believe that is all this week for the lore. That's it for this week for the lore. I guess we only have a couple more weeks of the races and then we'll get into the history of Old School RuneScape, and we'll go into the different ages and kind of go through some of the events that happened, and then we'll move on from that. Alrighty, should we bring this on home?
Yeah, I think it's time to wrap it up.
All right. So last week I had, a friend of the show on to kind of talk about this giveaway he's decided to do. So his name is Bhooley, and if you listened last week, you should know that it should be coming up this Saturday, and it will be going on at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, which is about 12 noon in Eastern Standard Time. You can do the conversion yourself, but he is going to be giving away a real-life Dragon Dagger, poisoned. Something he made at work. And he's been posting some teasers on the Discord and stuff like that, and it looks really great. He's also adding along with it a Dragon Dagger keychain. They look fucking legit. They look really cool. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, definitely do check it out. It'll be coming up this Saturday, it will be February 17th. But we're also going to be having a little drop party along with that. I'm going to add in some things, and so even if you don't win the Dragon Dagger, hopefully you can win some in-game gold or items and stuff like that. So it'll be a good time. And with that being said, if you want to kind of stay up to date with the show, or I guess contact us on Twitter, stay updated with this event coming up. I don't use Twitter for too much, but I normally post the episodes on there, and if we're ever doing events, that's where you'll see them. Our Twitter is at the Wilderness RS, and same idea, but on Facebook, it's facebook.com/the Wilderness Podcast. We have an in-game clan chat, which you can come hang out with us in-game. Find that by searching WildCC. And our email is thewildernesspodcast@gmail.com, where you can write in kind of anything you want. And we also have a Discord, which are both on Facebook and Twitter. And if you have trouble finding that, just let us know and we'll get you a link and you can come hang out in there as well.
Yeah.
Anything you want to throw in there?
Yeah, my Twitter is DeeganRS. My Twitch is DeeganRS.
Nice.
Yeah. I've been streaming decent amount this past week, and I'll probably continue. I'm not always streaming RS. Yeah, a lot of it is just me like testing out how far like the quality and FPS and what games I can stream, just to kind of find the range of like what I'm capable of with my computer and internet. But if I'm like doing something and you're like, I want to watch this guy play RS, just like, yo, go do a raid, you dingus. Go, just tell me to go on RS and most likely be able to.
Oh, hell yeah. That's the beauty of RuneScape.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. With that being said, I don't think, and I hope I'm not forgetting anything. Yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you guys Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, have a good one, guys.
Until next week, take care.
Yeah, have a good one.